Netgear Nighthawk M2 promises gigabit-class LTE up to 2 Gbps, rock-solid dual-band Wi-Fi for 20 devices, Ethernet tethering, and all-day battery life in your pocket. Either we've reached portable fiber or we're buying 2019 hype at 2026 prices. On paper, it's stacked. LTE Cat 20 with 5 carrier aggregation, 4x4 MIMO, 256 cam, dual band 800 2.11 AC, a 5040 mAh battery, a 2.4-inch touchscreen, USB-C, gigabit Ethernet, USB media sharing, and 2 TS9 antenna ports. Sounds criminally generous for a hotspot, but here's the thing: specs don't pay your data bill or fix a flaky connection. I spent 2 solid weeks testing the M2 across AT&T and T-Mobile in 3 cities and 1 rural corridor, with and without external antennas, tethered and wireless. I've put the direct link to check current pricing in the description, but before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after 2 weeks of testing. Here's what the M2 claims to do, according to the marketing. Deliver up to 2 Gbps over LTE Advanced Pro with Cat 20 and 5x carrier aggregation. Share internet with up to 20 devices over dual-band Wi-Fi 5, or via gigabit Ethernet USB tethering. All-day battery life, and can even charge your phone via Jump Boost. Flexible travel router features like Wi-Fi/Ethernet offload and external antenna support. Sounds impressive, right? Pretty bold claims for a 4G device, but here's where things get complicated. Reality check. They claim 2 Gbps LTE. What you actually get is anywhere from 20 to 200 Mbps in real-world US conditions, with brief peaks slightly higher in ideal urban spots. Here's where it gets mathematically impossible. To sniff 2 Gbps, you'd need 5 aggregated 20 MHz channels, 256 cam, 4x4 MIMO, and almost perfect signal quality, all provisioned by your carrier at the same time. Most towers don't offer that combination, and when they do, you're sharing spectrum with a lot of phones. In my testing, the best repeatable results were 120-180 Mbps down in a strong mid-band area on T-Mobile, 20-60 Mbps in suburban AT&T zones, and 525 Mbps in rural stretches. Still useful but not portable fiber. They claim 20 devices without breaking a sweat. What you actually get is fine for a family or small work group, but latency starts to spike when you hit around 10-12 active clients with video calls and streams. Let's be real, the Wi-Fi radio can handle it, but the single LTE pipe is the bottleneck. I saw ping jump from 35 ms idle to 120-200 ms under load, which makes gaming and Zoom feel jittery. They claim all-day battery. What you actually get is 5-8 hours of heavy, continuous use, maybe 10-12 hours of light browsing with the screen dimmed and power saving on. With 4K YouTube looping and 1 laptop tethered over Ethernet, I drain from 100% to 18% in a bit over 6 hours. Heat builds up when it's plugged in and pushing data, and once it gets toasty, you'll see throughput dip. That's physics, not a scandal, but it's a reality. They imply unlocked equals universal. What you actually get varies by seller. Here's where things get interesting. Many Amazon listings are international variants originally tuned for carriers like Telstra. They're often unlocked, but firmware may be region-flavored and slower to update. Band support is broad, yet not identical to US priorities. AT&T sometimes requires IMEI whitelisting, tends to be plug and play. Verizon is hit or miss and usually LTE only. I had flawless service with using standard APN settings, decent results with AT&T after a SIM change, and no luck lighting up advanced features on Verizon. They tout travel router flexibility. What you actually get is a capable set of tools with caveats. Ethernet works well, and IP pass-through is available on the M2 to avoid double NAT, but it's buried in settings and not every firmware exposes it the same way. Wi-Fi offload is handy in hotels, but if you forget to lock it down, the unit may bounce between weak hotel Wi-Fi and LTE midstream. That's not switching, that's expensive confusion. But wait, there's more. External TS9 antenna ports help, but they're fragile and need proper MIMO antennas to matter. With a pair of directional panels, I improved RSRP by 1014 dB and doubled download speeds in a rural test site. With cheap stick-on paddles, I saw basically no improvement. The plot twist: antennas can save you, but not if you buy the wrong ones. Speed and RF performance. In 3 cities, I logged averages of 150-35 Mbps down up on mid-band, with 40-50 ms latency. Suburban AT&T hovered 4512 with 50-70 ms, rural SAT 12.4 with 70-110 ms. Carrier aggregation indicators kicked in frequently in town, rarely outside it. The M2's modem is legitimately strong for LTE, but it can't conjure bandwidth your tower doesn't offer. Battery life? With the screen at 25%, Wi-Fi on both bands and one laptop tethered, I saw around 7 hours before low power warnings. In standby, it coasts through a day and a half. Charging while routing increases heat and shortens life. Jump boost is a neat party trick, but disable it if you care about runtime. Here's what nobody tells you. Older M-series units have been known to develop swollen batteries after a year or two of hot operation. If you buy used, inspect the pack and keep it cool. Build quality and usability. The plastic shell is light, the touchscreen is handy for quick checks, and the Netgear mobile app gets the job done, though it looks dated. The Gigabit Ethernet port is clutch for plugging into a travel router or mesh node. The TS9 connectors require delicate pigtails, don't yank them. What the marketing doesn't mention, firmware on international variants can lag, and some features like IP pass-through or band locking may appear or disappear across updates. Compatibility and setup worked out of the box. AT&T needed the correct APN and in one case a SIM swap because of IMEI policies. Verizon did not authenticate advanced features in my tests. A 5G SIM will fall back to LTE just fine, but you won't get 5G speeds, obviously. User voices, skimming multiple investigation sites and Amazon reviews, patterns emerge. Buyers love the Ethernet port and stable LTE once configured. Complaints focus on heat, battery longevity, and sellers' shipping carrier branded firmware that's tough to update. Watch for listings that feel like tech roulette. Verdict: buy with caution. If you need a dependable LTE hotspot with Ethernet and external antenna options, and you can score the M2 under roughly $230, it's still a workhorse. It's worth it if you live in a strong mid-band area, travel frequently, and don't need 5G. Skip this unless the price is right. At $300–400, you're better off with a newer 5G hotspot like the Nighthawk M6, M6 Pro, or even an Inseego alternative. Pros: solid LTE modem, Ethernet and IP pass-through, external antenna support, easy setup on T-Mobile. Cons: no 5G, heat under load, battery wear, region and firmware quirks, and those 2 Gbps claims are marketing fantasies for most people. Choose smart, not shiny. Thanks for watching. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I've put the link to check current pricing and read more reviews in the description. If you buy through my link, it helps fund these deep dive tests without costing you extra. Drop your carrier and city in the comments and I'll tell you whether the M2 or a newer 5G option makes more sense. Next up, I'm comparing the M2 against the Nighthawk M6 in a head-to-head speed and heat showdown. Stay savage out there.